So over the weekend, I was out with some friends. A friend of mine grabbed one drink. I grabbed obviously a meal with my family as well. And normally back at home, we would just pay for everything. However, he insisted that I send him a Tikkie. So for this episode, I want to talk through what is a Tikkie or a Tikkie here in the Netherlands and the differences of that versus in Australia. I also want to talk about the differences between Vegemite and the Dutch sprinkles that we have in the morning and the taste difference and the challenges there. And also having an early dinner, which is something that back at home, generally we eat a lot later. In the Netherlands, we do see that we're getting into the habit now of eating earlier, and I guess some of the benefits of that as well. So first we'll talk about the Tikkie. So in the Netherlands, they've got a great setup here that if, for example, you pay for something somewhere, you can send something through the banking app, like a message that says, hey, I need 20 euro, or hey, thanks for dinner. I need X amount of money. And you're able to basically move and transfer between bank accounts really easy, and it's really easy to set up. And this is something that took us a little while to get used to, because obviously back in Australia, or with my friendship group back in Australia, normally if you're out and about, you would maybe pay for your bill or for the entire group the first time, and then that then will be shared at different dinners, different eateries, drinking, all those types of things. You might shout around. And even if you pay more or less, it's sort of relatively fine. Whereas here, Tikkies seem to be something that is a very much a way to ensure that you pay your rounds. And going Dutch is something that I didn't realize had that insight here also within the Netherlands, in the way that payments are made between each other, but at an exact amount. So I've had situations where I've had a Tikkie for €1.20, for example, upwards to maybe a lot more, 40 or 50 euro as well. But really interesting and a big cultural shift for me in actually not only being able to generally be paying for everyone, which has been nice, because obviously that comes out of your pocket. And a lot of some of the restaurants as well don't generally split the bills. They prefer to pay the bill in one go. But this Tikkie invention is fantastic in other ways, because especially when you do have a group of people, it's very easy to split the bill up into 4, 5, 6 ways, or actually look at the receipt and be able to do that, which is really handy. But yeah, definitely a big difference to what I was used to back in Australia. The second one I want to talk about, which I find really interesting, is for breakfast. A common Dutch food is chocolate sprinkles on bread first thing in the morning with butter. The comparison in Australia is Vegemite, and if you compare them, they're both very different. It tastes very different and are a very different concept as well. So obviously the chocolate sprinkles, you are getting that insulin injection first thing in the morning. And I do hear that a lot of my kids' friends have that regularly for breakfast. But I would imagine that probably wouldn't have the greatest health benefits first thing in the morning. I know it's not for everyone and everywhere, but it does sound like it's relatively a staple around with the kids. If I look back in Australia, Vegemite, which has an acquired taste, for me, I love it. Obviously, put a little bit on toast as well. When I have shared it with Dutchies, it's not as well liked, but it does show the differences in breakfast. And I think obviously when it comes to Vegemite, it's more of a yeast based spread, which sounds really gross, but it's I guess similar to what you grow up with back at home, and it's definitely something that you get used to. It does also have some nutritional value there as well. But really interesting when we've had, obviously some Dutch kids sleep over with my kids, that they'll bring the sprinkles out and the kids will have Vegemite and they'll share them. And there's always that interesting conversation that happens between them as well. The third one, which took us a little while to get used to, but we are getting better at it, is an early dinner. So it seems to be a little bit more culturally focused here, but dinner generally happens earlier. So at around about 5:30 is dinner time within the Netherlands, and you see a lot of the restaurants with lots of people earlier on. As if you go out a little bit later on in the afternoon, it's generally a little bit more quieter. as everyone is probably getting ready to get ready for the week or get ready for the next day of work or whatever it is as well. Back at home, regular dinner time might have been 6:30, 7 o'clock, sometimes 7:30. It might be also from the perspective of later work days. I know in the Netherlands as well, generally when people are working, 5 o'clock is quite a normal stopping time. Back in Australia, you might be in the office till 6 or 6:30, and by the time you get home, 7:30 seems to be around about the time, and that you sit with your family and have dinner. One of the benefits that I see from having an early dinner is as long as you don't do the late night snacking and those types of things, you get a really good night's sleep. You're able to digest, and it actually helps you feel more refreshed the next day. Obviously, having a late dinner does the opposite, given the fact that you're eating later and therefore potentially still digesting as you go to sleep. So a bit of a different feel, even going out for dinner with families. Unless they do come from an international background, you generally go out a little bit later. But with other Dutch families, indeed, quite an early dinner is normal, which is nice, different. However, we're well and truly doing that now. The kids generally are starving when they come home, so they'll have some food. And by 5 o'clock, they are asking for food as well. So 5:30 is our dinner time, and that's really changed the dynamic. But it's been quite nice as a change. So there you have it, Tikkie's, also eating habits in the morning and eating habits in the afternoon. So hopefully you still find these interesting. As always, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to comment. You can see our comments, or right back to all of your comments. I always like the engagement, so please do that. Throw me a like. Looking forward to doing this again next week. Until then, speak soon.